to the Athletes in Motion podcast, From Race to Recovery, with your hosts, Tom Riegel and Kenny Bailey.
Hey, Kenny, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Tom. How are you?
I'm fantastic as well. We have a great guest today, Adoh Doherty, who's here, who is a U.S. men's elite triathlete pro, like kicking ass in the short course world. And that's why we're super happy to have him here, because we're talking about short course. Yes, loving it. Olympic distance, sprint distance, none of this long course BS that everyone's been really hung up on. So super excited to have you here. Adoh, welcome. Give us your background. What's your story?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, so thank you guys so much for having me. This is exciting. Short course. A lot of people think triathlon and then they're like, oh, Ironman, half Ironman.
Yeah.
So I hear this all the time.
We're
So
stuck on
to
it.
have people that love the short course world warms my heart.
Nice. Nice.
But my name's Adoh, from Boston, Massachusetts, professional triathlete.
Which helps as well, Boston.
Yeah,
Go.
there
Go
we
Pats.
go. Yeah, there we go. Go Patriots.
Go Pats.
He's done with us.
Yeah.
But I've been racing triathlon professionally for 2.5 years.
Nice.
And I started as a run background, ran track and cross country at the University of Oklahoma, Boomer Sooner. And then I transitioned to triathlon in June of 2020.
Nice. What drew you to triathlon?
So
Did you lose a bet?
no, I know. Sometimes I look back and I'm like, man, how did this all start?
Yeah.
But actually, the journey began. It always was and always has been the Olympic dream. So this is the story. If you know me, you know this story. But my father was a world-class runner. He ran track at the elite level, and at his highest level, he was Olympic caliber. And he never made the team.
Wow.
Boycotted the games in '80 and didn't have the support to further his career. So I carried the Olympic burden, if you will. So and I thought it was going to be in track and field.
Yeah.
And then by the end of my running career as a super senior at OU, it just wasn't happening.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff has happened in the sport, so I'd made the transition.
Did you?
Nice.
Now, is that something that you put upon yourself on being the Olympic dream, or is that something like, was it part of what your dad wanted to, or was it you're like, hey, I'm going to live the dream he wasn't able to live?
Yes, yeah. I'd say it's more like I'm going to do this
finish
together.
Yeah,
Exactly. My dad started this journey, and I'm finishing it.
Yeah.
My family provided me a better life than they had, and it's my job, my opportunity, my pressure, if you will, which is an opportunity to fulfill the rest of the journey. Because it's not my Olympic dream or my Olympic goal; it's our Olympic goal.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
So when you came to the realization, like you said, you were a super senior at Oklahoma.
Yep.
It was like, okay, at what point did you know, okay, that's probably not going to be that path?
Yes.
I mean, was it a tough thing for you to kind of make that realization? Was it?
Yes.
Or was it like,
Yes.
was it?
So my heart has always been in the sport of track and field and in running. Running to this day is still my favorite discipline of the three.
And what distance were you running?
Middle distance to distance.
Okay.
So I did more 3K to 10K over cross country. So more middle distance to long distance, if you will. But as the career in college was starting to come to a close, I was starting to lose this like fire for this racing, and people were getting so much faster, and doping started getting through the roof my senior year. So
was it obvious?
Yes. And the track and field world was really starting to get plagued with some serious doping problems, domestically and internationally, of course. So that's just something obviously I'm not going to be a part of. And I suffered so many injuries being just a track runner, doing 70 plus miles a week for 15 years of my life, that forced me in a pool, forced me on a bike, where I was like, man, I have a lot of strengths outside of solely running that I really think I can make something happen in this triathlon world.
So you decided, let's just give it a go, right? Was it more of a taste it, or you're like, I'm going to lean into this thing?
No, it was when I
mean, do you like flip a switch?
No, when
I kind of feel it from your family's perspective.
No. When I do anything, I'm head first.
Okay.
I'm all in. And so basically what I did, and this was like peak COVID, what I did was I reached out to a few coaches and USA Triathlon, and I said, okay, how do we make this transition from Division I collegiate runner who's decent into a multi-sport athlete in the shortest time possible.
Yeah.
And there really is no
I like that.
And they laugh.
Screw it.
Because this was 2020, and I was like, "Oh, I plan on being in the Olympic trials for Tokyo." And then the coach that I'm with now was like, "We don't even have an Olympic trials. This ain't track and field." And I was like, "I'm so unversed in this sport." I was like, "I need to reverse," but that's how I do it. I'm all in. I'm in this for the Olympics. So I didn't actually switch over to triathlon for the passion of triathlon or the love of the sport. It was really just to continue this Olympic journey. And that's the path that got open for me. So, but I interviewed these coaches. I ended up selecting James Peterson at JP Elite. And I knew he's developed dozens of amateurs and brought them to the elite level and then surpass and become world-class at the elite level. So I was like, this is my guy. I moved to New Hampshire. Did I move? Yeah, I moved to New Hampshire right away, packed everything up. Drove 28 hours from Oklahoma to New Hampshire. And the rest is kind of history. You know?
Yeah, that's kind of cool. So of the 3 disciplines, which ones were kind of to yours? Most people say it's the swimming. I don't know if the swimming just came to you naturally, or was it the cycling, or which of the other 2? I mean, obviously you can run. So
of course. So James had me do a bike test, a 20-minute power test on a bike that I borrowed on a trainer that looks like a spaceship. I mean, you guys are used to this. You guys know what the kickers are, and I'm like, oh my
what is
gosh,
this?
This is next level. Right?
Different world.
I've only ever seen a treadmill.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh man, this guy's a brilliant coach. Yeah. Look at this science. So as a run background, I actually translated really well to cycling, and the 20-minute power test he was very, very pleased with.
Good.
And he was like, oh, so like, how's the swim? And I'm lying through my teeth.
You're like,
I've never taken a clock in. I learned how to swim at 20 years old. Yeah. And it's like a language. If you didn't do it as a child,
100% agree.
You're really late to the party.
Yeah.
And so I was very, very, very developmental in this way. And that's putting it very kindly. The bike and the run have kind of been a real strength for me. But that swim, man, is a son of a gun, especially in draft legal.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, because you guys are going all out. This is sprinting,
and you can't miss that draft pack in a draft legal race.
If you miss the pack, you get dropped off the back.
Bye-bye.
And it's all over. So.
Yeah, because I'm thinking the swim part. The irony of swimming, right, is if you fight the water, you get slower, right? Is the idea. So if you try to get angry like you would on a bike, right, you can't just power through something. You've got to figure out, because it's skill. It's like golf.
It's great.
It's the most frustrating. Beautiful. Like when you get it right, it's great. When you don't, it sucks.
You can't power your way. Like on the bike, on the trainer, it's just slam your legs to no tomorrow. Yeah. And on the swim, the more power you put in, it's like you're actually doing yourself a disservice. You end up just fighting yourself in the water. So it's like you need to almost like relax yourself, find that grace, and then find the happy place.
Yeah, exactly.
The happy place. And then hopefully that happy place is on somebody else's feet, so you're getting a draft.
Yes, exactly.
So from an endurance standpoint, I mean, like you said, you had some injuries dealing with on the bike or on the runs. Did that endurance translate pretty easily? Did you have like that aerobic capacity already in you because you're doing 3 to right?
You had that.
That was a
That's
relatively
all there.
Yes.
So it wasn't just that; it was just more form and technique, or was it how to transfer the power?
So it's actually crazy. So the swim, as you all know, you take oxygen for granted, especially coming from a run background. You really take oxygen for granted. So yes, I might be some of the most aerobically fit numbers on paper when it comes to a runner. But man, it's like I didn't even know what breathing was when I got in the swim. So that aerobic endurance, I almost had to like shape it and tailor that to swimming. So because I'm over here like, how do I breathe? I'm like lifting my head. I'm doing all this really inefficient stuff, which is making me more exhausted. You know? So it didn't really translate all that great in the swim, believe it or not.
Yeah, I can kind of see that too. Like I said, it's a different beast.
You get about 30% of the oxygen that you actually need. And we always say it's overrated anyway. Breathing, you don't need to do that. Just put your head down and go.
But you're hydrating at least while you're doing it. You're just swallowing. Especially in the initial stages of learning how to properly swim. You're just swallowing the water because it's like, they're like, oh, don't lift your head. And it's like, well, I kind of got to get my mouth out of the water.
So the distance for the races that you're swimming is how much? What does it come down to?
So for the sprint, 750 meter, and then 1500 for the Olympic distance.
So you got for the Olympic distance. So what does your training load look like per week?
Yep. So
You're swimming how many times per week and how much per session?
yeah, so we're on a 8-day training cycle, which is pretty unique. Not a lot of coaches are doing an 8-day training cycle.
Okay.
But when you're fully in triathlon, you have flexibility because you're just training.
Yeah.
But I'll swim 7 out of those 8 days of the
7
training
days,
cycle,
okay.
and 5K a day.
And 5K a day.
Yeah.
Think about that.
5K a day
For
keeps the dog
1,500K, right?
Yeah. Yep.
For a 1,500K race, you're doing 5,000 meters a day.
Yeah, so there's a whole bunch I want to unpack here on that.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Because, well, personally, I've been doing long distance, and this is a year I want to do more sprint distance. I want to go faster rather than go far.
Yes,
so
sir.
I have questions.
Yes.
For the audience, just to ground them a little bit.
Yes.
Most people when they start in triathlon, it's there's no draft, right? There's rules in place. When you look at an Olympic, like what you're racing, it is draft legal. Tell us how it's different or how it's the same as like a half Ironman, for example.
Yes. So I might get some flack for this, but
good.
I think
we like that.
Yeah, I think short course draft legal racing is proper racing. I think
You are going to get shit for that.
Yeah.
I said it.
I think long course racing is
Send the
more.
email too.
You're more racing yourself in long course racing,
100%.
opposed to racing a field.
I agree.
In draft legal, you're actually like, I feel like you're rubbing elbows. You're really getting nitty gritty with these other guys in it. So. Not that long course isn't racing; it still is racing, but it's just
You have to be 5 bike lengths behind, and you have to.
there really
It's
is
more
no.
you.
The rules are kind of tossed out the window because you've got carnage in the swim because you got to be first to that buoy, and then you got to be in the bike pack, and the mounts are crazy. So it's like it's a little bit more relaxed in my experience because I've done long course as well. I've done long course. In my experience, it doesn't feel as much like racing in that long distance.
Okay. Yeah. So let's take the sprint for example. So you're 750 in the water. You are basically it's literally sprinting, right? You're
correct.
Going hard out on that. You want to be first.
And it's either running in from a beach or jumping off a
pontoon.
Pontoon,
Yep.
right? So you're lined up shoulder to shoulder.
Yes.
And the gun goes off
and it turns into a washing machine. Yeah.
It just goes.
Bingo.
Which is what the old days
The old
used
days,
to be for even long course was. And we all just jumped in together. You were
so
age
was
group,
it smacking and fighting? And I mean, you're getting hit
yes.
right, left, or they tend to be because amateurs are crazy when they do. Back in the early, I mean, I got in a group with 120 guys, and it was just pandemonium, right? Because some people don't know how to swim.
I swam with 3,000 other people. In
Yeah.
a very small lake. And it was brutal.
Yes.
So
it was brutal.
You guys have experienced
but
it.
It's that same thing.
It's carnage.
Yeah.
It's just pure carnage. It's especially at the level that I'm at. You have 74 other men that are very similar, relatively speaking.
You guys were all within a second of each other in your last race. I was looking at some of the numbers, and I'm looking at that. So imagine that. You're not getting in a group with your age group where you've got a couple really good ones and then a couple really bad ones, and everybody's stretched out. You're talking about everybody that's within
fighting to get that,
like tenths of a second of each other.
Yep.
I mean, that puts you all at the line together, right? There's no avoiding that.
Misery loves company.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
It is. It really is. That's why I enjoy it. It's proper racing.
Yeah. Yeah, Rosie.
We have our guest Rosie today.
I know. Rosie, the official. Okay.
So your bike distance is how long then?
Sprint 20K, Olympic 40K.
Okay, so on the 20K bike, it's a road bike that you're
Correct.
So, God, I love this.
Yeah.
So basically, again, it's your 20K courses are very fast. I mean, again,
very technical, typically technical.
Okay.
A lot of U-turns because when you're driving an aero on a TT bike, you don't have access to brakes.
Correct.
You can't really do turns because you got limitations with the bike. So yes, you're on a road bike, and it's
like a like any road race.
And there's watt bombs. There's a lot of watt bombs. Every U-turn, everybody's trying to drop everybody.
Absolutely.
You're trying to get to first to T2 so you can you're not crashing while you're dismounting your bike so you can get to your shoes. You really want to get to the front of that pack. So you're really trying to, for 20K, you're really positioning yourself to get yourself set up for a proper transition.
Got it. And then you're running a 5K. It's a 5K for the sprint.
5K, 10K.
Okay.
5K, 10K. So you're looking at strategy to get in there, but it's all about the run, right? It's all about the run. You need to pace yourself, be with the packs to get through it, to get off and throw down the fastest run of your life every single time.
Swim for show, run for dough.
I like it.
That's not my phrase. That's not my phrase. That's just like that's draft legal. So
that's draft legal.
And the run is just, it's more or less how much damage did I not do on the swim and the bike what can I piece together here?
Yeah.
So so the question becomes strategy to me on that one, right? So two questions on that. So on the sprint distance, when you talk about strategy, if you have somebody that if you're at 100% and there's somebody pulling away, are you kind of trying to dig a little bit more, or do you try to say no, yep. I think I'm going to be able to catch him on the run, or if you don't, you're done?
Nope. Great. That's a great question. And this is why this is such an intense sport, is because no, you don't think of the next discipline when you're in the current discipline. When you're in the swim, if they're going, you go. If there's a breakaway on the bike, you go. It doesn't matter. And this is truly.
Nice.
And I race a little bit more unorthodox than normal.
In what way?
And where if I'll make the move on the bike. I'll be the guy that sends.
You're not going to follow.
Yeah, no.
You're
I
want to torture people.
Yeah. I like
it.
the pain.
I like it.
So, but no, it's I actually, the reason why it's a little bit more unorthodox is because I don't think about the bike portion when I'm in the swim. It's not like, I need to save a few matches.
That's what I'm
for
asking.
the run.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think that way. Okay. I don't think that way. I get to the bike. Now we're focused on getting this done, Obviously you want to race smart and be the best, be the most efficient that you can, but you're not letting that pack go. If that pack goes, your race goes.
Yeah.
So it's there's no matches to be saved. When you get to the run, it's
so when you approach an Olympic distance over a sprint, is it just the same thing and the pain's going to be longer, or is there a little bit more?
Yes, there's a little bit more of control in an Olympic distance, especially with that 40K bike.
Yeah.
The bike groups might be more apt to come together because people want to prep for that 10K.
Okay. Yeah. And then it's just 10K is the same thing as a 5K. Yep. It hurts twice as long.
That one is the one that hurts a lot. Yeah, especially because we race typically in very warm places, very hot places that it's, you really start to feel the extra 20K you just biked in heat.
Got it.
Yeah.
So on the types of courses, which ones do you prefer the most? Do you like the lake ones? Do you like the hilly ones? Because some people, like, if you're good on hills, you want to be able to drop people. You're more of a flat person. Is there a course type you like, or you don't really care? Just bring it up?
I'm not supposed to say this stuff.
Okay.
No. I'm strong on all courses.
Sounds like a very controversial we're having today.
I'm strong on all courses. No. I mean,
there's some you prefer.
I'm a bigger guy. I'm a bigger guy.
I've been meaning to talk to you about
I struggle in the hills.
So.
The flats is
what you jam.
Definitely, that's my jam. Okay. Watts per kilo is on the flats are just much better. On the hills, and we saw this in Barbados last weekend. Or 2 weekends ago. It's just the hills, man. It's just not my favorite thing.
Well, you got a guy that's $1.35 that's ripping up that. Right. There's watts per kilo or just insane.
Just got to catch him on the downhill.
Exactly.
Just got to work extra hard.
Don't always work like that.
That's the thought, though. Yeah. Try to get it there.
Yeah. So fascinated on a couple things. So how quickly? It sounded like it was very quickly because of your skill in Oklahoma, and your run background, that you were able to get to that elite level in a fairly quick order.
Right.
Nothing wrong with injuries. You knock on wood on that one. No nagging injuries from your run that came back.
No. So James is just James. When it comes to injury prevention, James is incredible. And I've worked with so many coaches, and I've been on multiple different teams to get to where I'm at now. And injuries have always been something that's haunted my career. Always. Mm-hmm. But the way that James tailors our training is just, it's been so incredible. And it's really translated well to me. And I really haven't suffered any serious injuries, things here and there, like niggles, but nothing by any means serious, because he's so hands-on that he's really keeping the reins. Cause I'm one that, if you don't put the reins on, I'll do the 100-mile weeks. So he actually has to pump the brakes for me and to keep me healthy. But his philosophy is just consistency and just outlasting. Gotcha. So it's just like outlast everyone, keep consistent, and that's much more important than getting in an extra mile or two or an extra 1,000 in the pool.
Got it.
So it's all regulated by the boss.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is a fun conversation. So just because we're so used to, we talked a longer distance, right? Half Ironman, full Ironman, right? Where it's pace yourself, it's stay within yourself. If somebody goes away, if you blow up now on the run, you're going to get you always do that.
Yeah.
The other thing is, everything in triathlon is always the fourth discipline is nutrition.
Yes.
So how do you deal with? I mean, it's a short race, so you're not like you're trying to fuel.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Is it just basically tell us how kind of you get ready for a race? Then.
Yeah, that's great. So it's a little bit different for a sprint versus an Olympic. A sprint, you're looking at about 50 to 56 minutes, depending on course length. So fueling during.
Can we just pause for a second?
Yeah, we can pause. Sorry. Go ahead. But mind you, we're drafting. You're
drafting.
It helps.
Yeah, that's totally it.
It gets you down the road. It gets you down the road faster. That's the only reason.
You still have to catch the group.
It's a little.
I can't catch the group.
Just saying. The drafting moves you down the road a little bit faster.
I get it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to fueling during, I won't do gels, goos, chews. I won't do anything during for a sprint.
Yeah.
Mainly because I'll take that goo or chew just before the swim.
Got it.
And it's
Throw it out.
You're pretty much good.
You're pretty much good.
You've eaten enough.
Yeah, I'll have a half a bottle on the bike.
Okay.
A half a standard bottle. I don't know the exact amount, but about half a bite. And
Is there nutrition in that, or?
Yeah. I'll do like a blank sports type of powder type, heavy carb. Electrolytes, especially warm for sweat.
Sure.
But on an Olympic, that's where you actually have to start taking into play and timing caffeine and stuff like that. So
Caffeine, no kidding.
yeah, and I'm not a big caffeine user, and I don't drink coffee. I don't drink any caffeine outside of competition.
Wow.
I'll rarely consume caffeine. So
That actually, I hear it's better, right? Because you're going to get a hit better.
Because you're going to
Correct.
Unlike me, who drinks so much coffee.
Yeah.
I just down 4 shots on an espresso.
Yeah,
so,
then you need more for the race.
I'm just jamming.
Yeah,
I'm over the corner.
Yeah. If you're always firing on all cylinders with all this caffeine, it's like when you get to a race, it's like, shoot, now I need to take 4 times the amount. So I try to keep it
Jet
so
smart.
it's actually jet fuel. But on an Olympic, it would probably I definitely am on the lower end of fueling during because I like to properly fuel before, So it's like I'm still trying to nail I got to get this down while also pushing 345 watts. And it's like sometimes your body's just like rejecting it.
Well, yeah.
So typically, what time of day do the races start? This is not.
It does fluctuate.
It does not. It's not always
like Formula One, where it's
like the 6 a.m. type stuff. You've got some afternoon ones. You've got some different stuff. So how do you plan the fueling around that?
Yeah. Well, if you're racing in Europe or Asia, it's typically afternoon races.
Okay.
In the Americas, they sometimes like to go early, especially South America, because it's just so hot.
Yeah.
It's so hot.
Yeah.
So you almost need to look at the schedule and you plan it. But in training, you're playing with it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, if we're going to have that 9 a.m. start, that's typically when we start practice every day anywho. So it's like, I have a pretty good regiment for a 9 o'clock start. Okay. It's those afternoon ones that you're almost not accustomed to. Yeah. So it's like, you almost need to play with it for those PM sessions in training to prepare for those afternoon races in
that'd be kind of weird, right? Because what do you do at 11?
We
like,
joke,
do I eat again?
We joke about it. We complain. So many people complain about starting the race, or we have to get up at 4 a.m. to go over and eat something, to get to the race start, to get over and do this thing. And everyone's like, man, I hate this. And then you start later, and they're like, they don't know how to eat, and it's too damn hot. And they're all of a sudden they're like, wow, it's too hot. I'm like, well, that's why we start really early.
You're complaining either way. You don't want to start early, but you also don't want to start in the afternoon.
It's
like,
maybe.
So
I get it.
Let's switch over to training volume, because this is fascinating to me. Because again, for longer distance ones, you just you're not just putting in the numbers too. How are you approaching? You said you did 4 hours on a bike today.
Yeah.
Why?
Today's my long ride.
Like you're riding. Well, if you're riding for how many minutes? You're like 30.
Never more than an hour.
Yeah. So are there volume days? Are there speed days?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Just kind of walk us through.
Right.
Sort of.
So the goal, of course, is you try to get 22 to 28 hours of training volume a week. So with the 8-day cycle, we have a little bit of extra flexibility, but we try to. The intense days are going to be intense. So if we're doing like an intense threshold swim, that'll typically be paired with a PM threshold run. And that's typically like a day 2. But if you're having a more high volume day, it'll be, okay, we're going to do all 3 disciplines and we're just going to hit it nice and easy. We don't say like recovery, but it'll be like aerobic endurance. And it'll be like 5K easy set swim. And then it'll be like a 2-hour ride and then a 45 to 60 minute run. All easy, all self-regulated to keep you healthy, and heart rates for everything. And So but it's typically every other for the 8-day cycle, which makes it real nice. Yeah. And then at the end of those weeks, like 6 and 8, it'd be long run. Yeah. Aerobic endurance day, long ride. So today was my long ride day.
Okay. So when you're doing what's an example of when you guys are doing intense runs, what would that look like?
It's all, of course, it's placement where you're at in the season. Now we're very early in the season, so it'll be longer-ish tempo type stuff. Okay. Real like threshold, aerobic threshold, kind of keep the zone low. But it's once you get to later in the season, that's when you start doing like sharpening, where it's like, okay, now we're going to get into doing 600s, and now we're going to get into doing Ks. Because mind you, I'm not doing a half marathon off the bike. I'm doing a 5K. So we need to get those miles under 5 minute pace. So we really need to get that speed going, 3 minute K reps and things along those lines. But that's typically later into the season.
Okay. So if you're, let's say, an amateur that used to do long races or does long races, and you want to try to get faster, what would be like the three things that you're 22 to 28 hours. I mean, you're a professional. You do this for a living, right?
Correct.
So for people that are trying to just get a little bit faster, half of our folks that watch it are kind of, they do this for fun. They're weekend warriors. How do you, what would be your recommendation on sort of how do you start incorporating more speed? How do you start incorporating more intensity?
That's a good question. Yeah. I think when you keep the training volume similar to where you're at, you can actually incorporate pieces of intensity into that volume. So the body can actually handle more than we think, as long as you're kind of listening to it and recovering properly. But if you're limited with hours and you're working like a 9 to 5, you can actually incorporate, instead of having one day dedicated to 2 real serious intense sessions, you can actually add a little bit of intensity, like a half beat of intensity to your aerobic days, and that'll kind of give you like sharpness. But when you're transitioning from long course to short course, the volume, I'm not saying the volume is less important, because obviously that is very important, but the intensity needs to be cranked up, because you're not going out there just steady on the run. You need to approach it with a different pace. Strides is a major thing on the run that'll help. Major thing. So if you're just going aerobic endurance run, just take an extra 5 minutes, or take 5 minutes off your aerobic run and just take 5 minutes and just do a couple 150-meter strides, and just walk in between, take the stride, 90 seconds walk, 60-second walk, 150 stride, 150 stride. And that'll kind of wake the legs up, and you're almost like cheating by getting like a fake little workout in when really it was just an aerobic day.
Yeah. Very nice.
I think the key is that you're just not doing the same pace all the time. Like if you want to go faster, you have to run faster.
Yes.
Right. No, you need to get the leg speed.
Yes.
You need to pick some of that up. So for people, we start talking about athletes in the spring as we're getting through there. You need to mix your sets up a little bit. So it's not all aerobic. We want zone 2. We want that base. We want to get that in there.
Of course.
But there needs to be a day that's kind of tempo and a day that takes a little VO2 max type stuff.
I'm not minimizing volume. I'm not. Because that's important.
Well, what we find is that it doesn't matter what volume they do at the same pace. I see athletes that they get in there and they swim, and you tell them to swim fast, and their arm speed is exactly the same as their slow speed, which is exactly the same as their fast speed, and it's just like, and they're wondering why they're not getting any better. It was just like, okay, well, we have to add the little speed stuff in, those strides, those little things like that.
Of course.
It's exactly what you need to do is get your feet faster, your arms faster, and then the speed comes with that.
Of course.
It comes through. So, I mean, you guys are the pinnacle of that.
Every swim set we do, we will always have a descend to race pace. Even if it's just an aerobic day, we'll always touch the speed in which we want to race at. Because swimming is unique. Running, you almost can't do that every day because impact.
That would beat you up too much.
Right. But swimming, you can actually touch race pace every swim, and it really won't affect your fatigue levels long term. I'm talking 100, a 50, a couple hundreds, like 4x100 descent or something. I'm not talking sets, but you can touch race pace in every single swim and more or less be okay.
Just do a couple of 50s.
Just a couple of 50s at race pace, change it. Stroke rate, and kick rate, and so if you play with it, just incorporate that just a little bit. But y'all already got the endurance for being a long course athlete anyway. You got that aerobic base, that foundation that it's now we just start to sprinkle in the little fast stuff. And y'all got it already.
Plus it makes the workouts a little bit more exciting, right?
Spices it up.
You're just not this boring thing where we're just doing the same thing over and over again. Let's mix it up. Let's mix it up. Break your sets up.
So I'm just trying to understand, again, for the folks that are listening, myself too. I mean, just give us a scope of sort of when we are talking fast, when you guys are fast, I mean, how fast is fast? Like what do you need to be at to be competitive on your swim, on your run, and on your bike?
All right. So the standard on the swim is double O's in yards. Okay. So faster than 5 minutes in a 500 in this pool.
Okay.
So for 500 yards, so double O's are faster, 5 minutes are faster.
Yeah.
Watts per kilo. What do you want to do? Watts per kilo or just watts for 20 minutes?
Probably. Well, I mean, it depends.
It's both. Yeah. So
because it depends on your size.
Yeah, you have to be over 400 watts for 20 minutes. sub 5 minutes in a 500, and 5K you got to be under 15 minutes, preferably under 14:30.
Okay, so for all those people looking to try to become professional. That's the bar.
Short
and then you get the fast ones.
And then you got the guys that are really beating me.
I was going to say that's the back of the line, right?
Yeah,
You're just moving up to the pack.
Yeah.
So
that's the standard, though.
And that's the standard.
The
So
standard
if you hit that, then you're ready to go.
Yes. And my coach is so upfront about it. He's like, the standard is the standard. I don't make the standard. You don't make the standard. Yeah. This is what they're doing. What you need to do. I just kind of gave you a conservative. Well,
you got the people like the Brownlees out there that were just like crushing it, right?
Yeah. So, right.
Those guys.
Yeah. And they started earlier. So you got to think, I didn't even know triathlon existed until I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
You got in Europe, the Europeans, they've were born for triathlon. Yeah. You know, they were shaped and tailored into the sport. So it's like, we're kind of starting in the dugout. These guys are already on second base. You know?
Yeah, you just got more to make up, right?
Yeah.
That's so you said you're early in your season now. So give us a kind of a layout of what your season looks like.
Yeah. So,
and is this your third year in the season?
Yes, this is my third international year. So I raced my first season as an amateur to get my feet wet, understand the sport of triathlon, learn the sport, did 70.3. I did Olympic distance. I did non-draft. I did draft legal. I did EDRs, all that stuff. But now, obviously, we knew why we transitioned to sport. Olympic Games, short course draft legal only.
Yep.
So with that said, the short course schedule is typically March to October, maybe September. But we start with usually a very low key mixed team relay to open the season, get the cobwebs off, and then you kind of hit the ground running in March. So just got back from Barbados, and now we have a little bit of a lull. A little bit of a training block, like 8 weeks, and then end of May will probably be my next race. And then we'll look at racing every 6 to 8 weeks until late September, early October.
Okay. Is there one you've got a circle on your calendar that you're looking forward to?
Yes. In September, mid-September, there's the Asian Champs in Tokyo, and that's an Olympic distance. And I really want to start touching a couple Olympic distances a year because I've only done one Olympic distance thus far. In the World Triathlon events, international elite races. So I really want to start doing a couple, 2 to 3 a season. Last year we did one. This year I'm thinking 2. So I'm thinking Asian Champs in Tokyo would be a really good one.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
How's that course?
Flat, fast.
So it suits you really well.
Yeah, it's typical Adoh course for me.
So if it's 6 to 7, how does that training look like then? So if it's 6 to 7 weeks, like you get off of a race, how much time do you allow yourself grace period to kind of rest from that, or is it because it's so short that you don't need that kind of?
Yeah, you don't need a lot. The thing is that what really is the killer is international travel with the time zones and your diet and things like that. It's like. Shoot, because the race, obviously, you do get a feeling, an effect from the race, but it's really the travel that'll get you. So it's just a day. We'll have like 1 day flop in the swim, spin it out on the bike, and then we're hitting the ground running.
Got it. Yeah, because of the distance is so short, it's not like when you're doing a big one.
Of course,
you get like a week off to kind of do whatever.
Yes.
How many days in advance do you want to be in country before you race?
Minimum 4.
Oh, no kidding.
Minimum 4. Okay. Yeah, I like to personally do 5. For Barbados, we got there on Tuesday and we raced on Saturday. Okay, something like that.
Is an acclimation thing is primarily the reason
yes,
why?
And it's a big diet thing as well. When you go new places, man, I've gotten food poisoning too many of times. It's like you really want to go acclimate, weather, of course, time zone adjustment, and then you kind of want to see the course. You want to see how things are run. Okay, at this time the tide's looking like this, so anticipate waves, or it's just things like that, and it takes time to do those studies.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's just it's fascinating because it's such a different, to like you said. I mean, at the beginning of this thing, you were talking about how everyone automatically assumes when you talk to somebody, well, did you go to Hawaii? It's like, that's the first question out of their mouth. And the intensity that you're talking about it's just such a different thing. I mean, when you're talking Ironman or half Ironman, it's a matter of not survival, but like you said, planning and nutrition and save your matches for the run. This one is just balls out until the finish line, and then you can worry about it. But to your point, it's like I don't think about the run until I'm on the run. That's fascinating, right? And when you're talking like, and the other thing too is it's basically a road race, right, on your bike, which is amazing to me.
And you do multiple loops.
Yes, correct.
So,
it's always
so it's bumping. It's
it's actually
spectator friendly,
very spectator friendly,
Very
and
much
you can stream it and watch it. I think the World Triathlon website has it, so I think it's like $35 a year, and you can watch all the races.
Yep.
You want to watch some fun stuff. This is some.
Well, and I think the volume thing is kind of what's surprising to me is how much volume you're doing just for such a short race.
Yes,
right?
It's still important. You have to have that aerobic foundation, and the intensity just builds upon that. You have to still have the foundation.
Yeah,
the foundation is what keeps you injury free.
Well, who's the guy that won
that
it?
Helps you.
Won the Olympic one, and they were
Bloomfield.
Yeah,
Christian,
Bloomfield.
Christian.
Yeah.
Yep.
Christian.
And they were mocking him because he was doing Ironman distance training, and they're like, "How funny is that?" And then he just blew everybody out of the course.
Yeah,
Okay.
people are shocked to discover that short course triathletes translate very well to long course. The volume, what would you say, maybe Sam Long that Sam might be doing is very similar to what like Chase is doing in short course or something. Like it's very hand in hand. It's just a matter of where you're dropping in that intensity. The volume is more or less the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think to your pace, it's the other thing. It's the nutrition. It's because you see, half of these guys you're halfway through the marathon, and all of a sudden, they're walking through the aid stations, and it's you miss one bottle, and your
day's done.
Your day's done.
It's
right?
true. It's true.
Kind of amazing.
Yep.
And before we got on, we were talking about kind of your day is not. You're a busy man.
Yes.
We're going to have to post up a picture of your car.
Everything I own is in
he's
my
got
vehicle.
2 bikes and everything he owns in this,
half a box of
small
Cheerios
little
that I love. Right?
Honda Element or something, whatever it is. It's just like, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah. No matter what your fitness level is, Cheerios.
This is what it's like. Yeah. The life of a pro.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
I love it.
As you turn pro, is the expectations like you have sponsors you need to, shout out to your sponsor.
Speaking of
Qavah, thank you so much.
So
thank you, Jason.
And, you're doing a run later today, that kind of thing. So how do you balance that, right? So you have to get in. The priority obviously is training, but
yes,
there has to be a priority of sort of letting your brain sort of rest.
Yes,
or do
correct.
you just figure by the time you get to the room tonight, that'll be the end of it. But
yes,
how do you how busy is your schedule, and what do you try to do to try to maintain that?
Yes,
it's not as if maybe what I'm trying to say is 9 to 5 people. Like you said, 95 people, and then they try to do this afterwards. It's not like you just did your training for a few hours, and now you're sitting around for 16 hours, right?
Yeah, it's
right.
No.
So tell us kind of what you're doing and how you have to kind of balance that.
Right. So you said it. Training is priority.
Yeah.
That's what's going to get me to the Olympic podium.
Yeah.
But you have to be all in. Like doing the 9 to 5 and trying to be in an Olympic podium.
Yeah.
Typically doesn't go hand in hand. So for me, I'm the all in guy. We said this. I'm diving in head first. So you really need to be prepared to uproot your life, go move in with a team. I prefer the DTE experience, daily training environment, which is why I live with my teammates. I see my coach every day. That's the experience I believe in what it takes. And my training is, of course, going to take priority. I'm so grateful to have Jason as a sponsor and these companies that want to join Team Adoh, if you will. And they're kind of what keeps you afloat, gets you to races, and obviously provides for you financially. But really, it's the training, and it's tough. I miss weddings, I miss funerals. I don't have much of a social life. My teammates are my best friends ultimately. So it's like a lot of things in life take a hit. But for greatness, that's what you have to do.
And you've got schedules where you have commitments you have to make.
Of course,
have places where you have to be and that kind of thing.
But it's a joy. It's like things like this. It's a privilege. It's like that's and it's nuts. I mean, as an athlete, I believe I'm more than an athlete. I think things like this. I love people. I love my community. My faith is really important to me. So it's like there are things as an athlete that I still have as obligations to myself. Like I will always give myself those outlets, but something that in my experience, I've noticed not a lot of triathletes do is they don't allow themselves the time of like decompression.
Yeah.
Every day after my last session, I'll do my proper refueling. And then from that time until bed, I'll allocate no time to triathlon. So believe it or not, as an elite triathlete, there are a couple hours of my day where I do not think about triathlon. Yeah. And as an endurance athlete in a lifestyle sport, that's very challenging. Especially when you live with your teammates, your competition, and you're seeing it, But I think that's the point. That's the longevity. That's the stuff that's going to keep me consistent is giving myself that time to not have that mental stress, because the brain can actually exhaust you physically.
Yeah.
So
you talk about that a lot.
Yep. So I definitely try to have that like decompressed time, which is my time with God, or a movie, or I'm reading or something like that. But it wouldn't be I'm reading for nutrition for my sport.
It's easy to do that, right? Because like you said, it is your profession.
It is. And you want to do the little things. You want to, what's going to give me the edge?
Yeah.
What can I learn today?
Yeah.
But there's a time and a place for that.
Yeah.
And in the decompression time, that is not the time.
That's not the time.
And that's critical,
Yeah.
right? And absolutely critical. I think I'm glad you brought that up, because I think that's for anybody, right? I mean,
and for our age groupers, it's the same thing, right? That life stress and the work stress and the training stress all kind of converges on there. And as much as you're trying to get all of this in, you need to take that time. You need to take that time to turn off completely and not work on anything.
Nothing.
Right? Spend some family time, just to chill.
Yes.
Just chill and shut down.
Yes.
Okay.
It's highly important.
And I cherish my family time, because I don't see them. I do not see it. Like, I make a lot of sacrifices, but I have the support of my family for that. But when I get that time, which I think I'm going to have a week coming up, or 4 or 5 days coming up here next week. That's so important.
That's special time.
That's part of my why I do what I do.
Yeah.
So it's like to get those batteries recharged, and because seeing them at a race isn't all the same. It's all business at a race. I don't have this time to decompress in the race, or on a race week or something. So it's when I'm not at a race environment, that's the time.
Yeah, when I joke about like it's not our day job. No one's going to paycheck. Chill out at the races. When I talk about that, not for him.
Yeah, it's the exact opposite.
No, because it's the exact opposite for them. It's like
exactly.
just stay away. Just let him do his business. Let you get this stuff done. The rest of us are just out here going like, hey, there's no paycheck involved here.
But I think I think my parents are more stressed and nervous than I might be.
Oh, heck yeah.
I think my mom might be scared that we'll get crashed out or something. And my dad's like, I need him to be the best in the world. He needs to be the best in the world. That's my son. That's my name.
Exactly.
So it's
carrying it on.
Don't come home until.
It's fine. I don't live there anymore.
So is it? How is when you approach it? Is it like nobody can talk to you? Do you have blinders on? Are you generally pretty loose, or are you
headphones
like
on? Crank the tunes and just shut down.
No. So that's how I used to be at university level. At the NCAA, I used to be like so intense, like headphones on, eyes down, nobody talk to me. I have to mentally prepare for that.
Yeah.
I never raced well like that.
That's funny.
I'm a people person. I got energy. I like to talk to people. I like to have, I like to, this is who I am.
Yeah.
And I've noticed my races have suffered when I was like almost too embedded into my focus, where it's like, man, now I'm all up in my head.
Yeah.
So now my approach is a little different. I don't do the headphones.
Yeah.
I'm focused.
Yeah.
But I like to have I'm still social but focused.
Yeah.
You have to be light. You got to toe the line light.
Yeah.
And that starts with the brain.
I like that. I like that, because I've always wondered how the athletes do that when they show up with their headphones on and they're just like ignoring the world. And it's not a thing I could ever do.
Yeah. I tend to get blinders as I get more serious.
Yeah.
Right. I guess when I do, I
have a checklist. I want to make sure I get certain things. Bike needs to be in the right spot. Right. Of course. You go through some of that stuff, but then you can sit back and like talk to people around you, help somebody else.
I've had some of my best sessions with my teammates when we're just kind of like joking around before the session, and not obviously we're very focused and serious, but when you're like messing around, listening to some music on the way to practice and stuff, making jokes. I've had some of my best sessions with that type of preparation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where it's like, why would I alter what's working just because it's a race day?
To fit your personality.
You have to.
You have to. That's awesome.
So you mentioned Olympics.
Yep.
What's that path look like right now?
Yes. So the path to the Olympic podium is just insane. It's definitely special, and it takes a lot of time. So it's consistency. When I started on this journey, when I was talking to my coach, we always starred the U.S. games. So in 2028, LA is going to be hosting the games. So we always start that on the calendar of July and August of 2028. So it's a step-by-step process. You first take that elite license, then you race kind of the domestic level, maybe like Conti Cup level domestically, and then you start these international races, World Triathlon Cups, World Series Cups, and then Super League and stuff like that. But you kind of have to work your way up, and you start checking these boxes where it's like, okay, I'm at the Conti Cup level. At the end of this year, I'll be at the World Cup level. And then a year or next year, it'll be the World Triathlon Series level. And then you're rubbing elbows with obviously Olympic podium.
Great.
Got it. Yeah. So how does the U.S. pick their athletes on that one? Is it because of points? Or is it
points. So it's
purely points. It's not like to your point, it's not like the runners have to go show up in Eugene. And
So yeah, we have an event called the test event, which will be exactly 1 year prior to the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
And that will be, if you place top 8, that's an auto qualify spot.
Nice.
So that's the non-points one. So points will get you into that race. So to get invited to the test event, it'll be, okay, we'll send the top 4 men and the top 4 American women to the test event. And then if any of them place in the top 8, that'll be an auto qualify spot.
Got it.
And then the other 1 or 2 spots for each federation will be typically determinant upon points.
Okay, so how many total athletes are going to be represented for the U.S. then?
For women, we're guaranteed 3 spots, and it depends on how many men you have ranked in the top 81, I believe it is.
Okay.
So right now we're guaranteed at least 2 men at Paris, and it's looking like we're going to get our 3rd spot back this year.
That would be great.
Because at Tokyo, we only had 2 men.
Yeah. So we need to have more
In the
that
top
gets
81
in the top
to earn
81.
our
To
3rd
earn an
spot
extra
back.
spot up
Correct.
there. So you're looking at three men, 3 women.
Correct.
Going through. Is there any additional that go just for the mixed relays that they've added?
Good question. The relays are typically derived of the athletes that are already at
Got
the
it.
at
Okay.
the event.
That's what I wanted to check on. Yeah.
So you have to be the top 3 in the United States.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Because if you get invited to the test event, which you could be ranked in the top 5 in the US and then place top 8 on any given day, then you auto qualify.
And you want to qualify.
USA selected someone that was ranked, I believe it was 5th, and still went to the games because of his trajectory on the year of the games.
Got it.
Yeah.
So
You just got to be in the mix.
Yeah.
got it. And how far are you away from the mix right now?
Not that far. Not that far.
Not that.
Yes, I'm in the conversation. I've already raced a lot of these guys. They've already competed at the games. Obviously we have work to do.
Yeah.
I still feel so new to this sport.
Sure.
But yeah, we're not all that far. Man.
Okay.
That's nice.
That's
got to be.
and
a
we
good
could
feeling.
taste it, right?
Yeah.
No, and it's like you try to keep the lid on, and you try to have that composure and stuff.
And that's that
but-
patience of following
Yes.
the process. You've got a
Yes.
great coach that's got that.
Yes,
dialed
he has
out
the
for
vision.
you. He's got
Yes.
the vision.
He knows
He's
what
got
I
it.
want.
Yeah, and you guys will get through there, and it's just
Correct.
trusting the process at
Correct.
that point, making the adjustments as you go through.
Yes.
That's
But you have the goalpost too, so it's not
Totally.
like same thing as like any long distance course, right?
Yeah.
Like to your point, you get to this point, right? I know what I need to do for 2024.
Correct.
I know what I need to do for 2025. Just
perfect.
Keep,
We just said the standard is the standard.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter. The goalposts don't move.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is what,
Yeah.
as my coach, all he says, this is what he needs to do to
Yeah.
get there. And he knows what we need to do. There's boxes you have to check. There's races you have to do.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of continuing to check boxes and stay on the path. Stay
Yes,
on
I'm always fascinated too by when you have elite athletes and pros that are coming to the line, right? And this probably happened during your college, collegiate time and now. When you, especially internationally, right? When you look across and you see the other 74, do you already know the first? Do you know the 3 that you're like, okay, these are the 3 that are going to give me a problem. These are the 3 I don't need to worry about. Or is everybody sort of equal in your head, or do you care?
No, there's nobody else in the race. I don't. That's
Nice.
That's another thing that's about my racing that's I think might be unique. I don't study stat lists.
Okay.
I don't care who I'm racing.
Interesting.
It almost
Interesting.
it almost doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Like you race the race that you're in, right?
Yeah.
You race the race that you're in, and kind of like we just kind of discussed when we broke down the 3 disciplines.
Yeah.
When you're in the swim. It doesn't matter who's in front of you or who's behind you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Oh, he should be up there. Oh, he should be back there.
Yeah.
Oh, he should beat me.
Yeah.
When you go in with the preconceived notion of, oh, I should watch out for this guy.
Yeah.
Man, come on.
Yeah, what if he has a bad day
Yeah, it
and you're
doesn't-
watching out for him, and all of a sudden the other group took off and
Right.
you missed it? I could see in long course that it would be a little bit more strategy, a little bit
Yes,
more like that.
yes.
So you know that they've got a kick at a certain
course,
time and
yes.
all that stuff. But we're talking like it's just red line out. It's just go.
Well, I mean, part of the reason I
awesome.
ask is, and I was an amateur guy, so I'm not going to pretend I was good. But like when I showed up to a road race, a bike race,
Yeah.
I mean, there were certain people you avoided. There's certain people that could take a good line that is going to be able to slice appropriately, especially on
Yes.
the bike. So when you got 40K, I just didn't know if it's like, okay, if I can get behind this person, I know I'm going to get a good line. I
Yes.
know then I can be able to pass them.
Yeah.
But
I'd say on the bike, this knowledge might be the most important. Like if you do know that there's, and at this level, you kind of seen the same guys. You know the bike that they're riding. You kind of see the same. Oh, I know the color. I've been on this wheel before. So it's like in the bike, it might be good to have this knowledge of okay, I know he can bridge from group to group.
Yeah.
I know he's capable, so I can find that wheel. But to get yourself all worked up by studying stat lists, I think that's
saying.
more harm than it is good. It's
Sure,
obviously you don't want to be completely ignorant to it, and I'm not. But I'm not letting
That's
somebody
not your
else's
focus.
race affect my race.
No,
I
that
know
makes
what
sense.
I need to do.
No,
I know
that's
where I
excellent.
need to be.
Yeah,
So
that's
and it doesn't matter
fantastic.
who's around me doing
That's
it.
your focus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's definitely your focus
Yes.
on that point. So
Yes.
fantastic. Yeah. That's cool.
This is fun, man.
Man,
Yeah, this is
This is an exciting
This is
conversation.
neat.
I think this is, to your point, the first time you ever had somebody that was like competitive short
Yeah.
distance stuff,
Yeah.
and it just breaks that whole, stupid mentality. It's like,
Yeah.
well,
Right.
are you going to go longer? Why? What if I just
Why?
go really fast?
I've been
that's
hearing
more
it.
intense,
Faster than
right?
you. It's a different strategy. It's a different way to look at it.
Yes.
And I think it's exciting. I think it's fun to do. I like all distances. I've done all distances.
Right.
And I like they each have their own challenge and jump through
course,
it. And I always throw in some sprints because, man, I'm slow and I want to get faster. So I have to go faster.
Right. Yeah.
It just forces me to really pick the pace
of
up and
course.
change up my training and throw some stuff in there for practice.
I've been hearing this more or less my whole life. Growing up in Boston, of course. Hey, have you ever done Boston Marathon?
Yeah, exactly.
You ever
Yeah,
done- It's like as soon as you hear that I'm a runner, it's always, have you ever
qualify
done a
for
marathon?
Boston?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Have you done Boston? Have you qualified for
Have you done
Boston?
for Boston?
It's
Yeah.
crazy. And now that I'm in triathlon, it's like, oh shoot, have you ever done an Ironman?
Yeah.
It's like, no, never. And to this day, I've never done Boston. I've never done a marathon. So it's like,
And it's
like,
okay.
yeah, right. Of course it is. And like you change sports, but it's like this. It just still trails you.
Yeah.
It's just like it still sticks with you. And it's like just because I only do short course doesn't make me any less of a triathlete.
Yeah.
Just because I only raced middle distance on the track doesn't make me any less of a runner.
Exactly. Right.
Exactly.
And I think and that's, I'm glad you said it that way. Right.
And that's what we want to get rid of, that
true.
word just.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
keep
It's a
hearing
stigma.
that when we talk to people. It's like, what race did you do in the season? I just was with some athletes last week, and I said, so what race is this week? I'm just doing the sprint. It's just whatever. I'm like, just.
That's impressive.
You're doing
Yeah.
the sprint.
Yes.
You're still a legit triathlete, whether you're
Absolutely.
doing super sprint or you're doing an ultra.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You're still the same triathlete. It's 3 sports: swim, bike, run. Do it.
If you
It's
could
all
piece
good.
together 3 disciplines on one day,
Come on,
you're a
that's
triathlete,
great.
and that's impressive.
That's it.
That is absolutely impressive.
Yeah, you're still only 5% of the population.
Of course, yes. No, it ain't
And you
easy.
can have brunch afterwards.
And you can have
nice.
brunch. I mean, it's awesome.
You can still have
that way.
eggs. I think that's really kind
The
of what I'm
family
trying
can
to
get involved. It's a little more spectator friendly.
Yeah.
It's you're off to brunch right afterwards.
Yeah, it's fast.
I don't think my races look like that. I need to start doing some brunch races.
You
We
need
got
a brunch
brunch
race,
waiting.
too. We
Yeah, we got
this
brunch
going.
waiting. You're like, really? Maybe it'll make you go faster. Just dangle an egg
Incentivization
in
with
front of
French
you.
toast.
I'm telling you. Yeah, you just throw that at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's
you
all
got,
good,
You got 14:20 on your run. Was that French toast worthy? I don't know.
Yeah. 14:20 off the bike is smoking. We like
okay.
that.
Oh my God, yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, heck yeah.
We'll
There
get
you
there. I get to 20, 24, I'd be happy.
I'm telling you, the strides. Once you incorporate those strides
got
into your aerobic days,
got 'em.
bingo.
Yeah.
And then reverse your age by about 30 years.
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah. I gotta
It's just
take
a
that
number.
off.
It's race experience. You have more race experience than I
do.
do.
Yeah,
let's just call it that.
You guys do have more race
I
experience.
have a
than me.
lot of race experience. I can say that for sure. Whether it's good or bad, we don't know.
I failed
That's up
more
for
than you
debate.
succeeded.
You never remember the races you lost once you win the once
Exactly.
you win the
Exactly.
one.
Exactly. So, but great. Thank you so much for coming on
it was my pleasure.
and joining us. It's great to hear your story. We'll be rooting for you and following you along.
100%.
We want to thank Jason, who's here watching in the sidelines. For
Yes.
let's make sure we get the Qavah.
Yes. Look at the logo.
Yeah, we got to get the T-shirts. Go on his website, check him out. He's got some of the best.
Jason's a massive supporter of Team Adoh, and he's helping move and advance my career forward. So because of the sponsors that I have, I'm able to do what I do professionally, full time. And so Jason will be joining me as we make our way towards the podium.
Yep.
So y'all check out Qavah, please.
Yes.
Best quality T-shirts ever worn.
Absolutely.
Really.
If you're racing any of the Magic Sports races in Middle Tennessee, Jason will be there at all the events.
Nice, yes.
He's got some great materials and great inspirational T-shirts and things. It's awesome stuff. So
Cool.
we love having Jason
thanks,
around.
Jay.
So appreciate you on that. Of
course.
Thank you again for coming on.
thank you.
Super appreciate you. Everybody, thanks for your questions, comments, thumbs up, 5 stars, all that good stuff. Helps the algorithms, gets the podcast out further and further to more and more people. We're a little international. We got some folks in Europe and
that's great.
in Asia popping up once in a while. So we appreciate everybody for listening. Kenny, it's awesome as always.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Adoh, thank you so much. We
Thank you,
appreciate
guys.
you. And for everyone, we'll catch you on the next show.